This is Sean. I'm on a job today in Greensboro, so let me show you what we got going on here. We have got this backyard here that has just been washing out, and the homeowner's been trying to grow grass back here and it just has not been happening. So one thing I noted when I came out here the first time was that this was not connected here, so all the water was just running across here. And the homeowner says that he's tested all these corrugateds and they all work, and he's not really worried about replacing them with PVC. We have decent fall going down to the creek there, and as long as we keep these cleaned out, he should be in pretty good shape. So all we're going to be doing here is bringing in dirt. This job was definitely going to take a lot of dirt, and so I had a little bit of time this afternoon, and I figured I would load up the big dump truck there and take a couple loads over and really get a nice head start on this job. And so usually I don't take this big truck off-road because it's a really heavy truck and it's gotten stuck a lot. So, but I figured I was going to be backing down, and once I dumped, I'd be lighter and I could pull right out of there. And so let's see how that worked out for me. I was a little bit worried that this video wasn't going to be very interesting, just spreading some dirt around. So I thought it'd be cool to get a drone shot of me dumping this first load onto the property. And so let's take a look at what happens here. I'm straightening out because I did scope this out a little bit, and I thought I could pull right in here and right down this little hill and have no problems at all. So let's take a look. So the homeowner said there was a septic tank here, old septic tank, thankfully, and he said it wouldn't be a problem, and guess what? I was backing this thing up and the bottom dropped out from under it. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but I can see down in there. Don't drop the phone. So look at that. I would say that's the worst this truck's ever been stuck. So I've got one of my buddies on the way over to pick me up. Hopefully he's going to bail me out here. But I guess the plan now has changed a little bit. I guess I'm going to bring the excavator over here, unload this dirt, and see if I can get this truck out of here. But this is going to be a rough one, that's for sure. Man, this was supposed to be an easy job. Look at that. So that truck I didn't even try to pull forward. I mean, that truck's got about 5 or 6 tons of dirt on it, and the truck weighs 6 tons on its own, empty. So I'm in trouble, that's for sure. That truck is done. I don't know how I'm gonna get this out of here. Okay, so my friend David just came and got me and took me back to my place. I've got the big excavator here, and I've got the dually, the F350 here. So right now the plan is to get the dirt out of the dump truck. My friend Mike is on his way over. He's at work right now, but he's going to try to take lunch, and if I can get this thing unloaded, we're going to see if we can get it pulled out of here. So that's what we're working on. At this point, I was pretty much on my own, and I figured I would see what this dually could do, but it's at a really weird angle, and so this thing wouldn't pull on it at all. So I realized pretty quickly that we had to lift the bed, lift the wheels out of the septic tank And to do that, we're going to use physics, and we're going to use the bed and its lifting ability. All right, we've got these blocks right here. We're gonna try to let so now it's sitting up on the bed, but we got to let the bed down to be able to push on it while Mike pulls with the other truck. All right, it's engaging the frame now. I guess take it all the way down and we'll see what happens. All right, let's try pulling on it, see what happens. Yeah, it's in neutral. All right, thanks to Mike here, we got her pulled out. I know I trashed my hitch pulling out with the excavator, and there's our hole that we got to fill in now. And hopefully there's no cable or anything going across. I think that's rebar. Yeah, that's rebar.
It goes way back your way.
Well, it's a septic tank. Whew. And I hope my boards here didn't mess up anything underneath there. I know I bent my muffler up a little bit. Damn. Well, anyway. Well, thank you, Mike.
What's all this?
This was what was in the back of the dump truck.
And that was going to be for something else?
Yeah.
Now it's for this?
Now it's for this, yeah.
All right.
All right, I wanted to take a look at this hole real quick. It looks like it's already had some caving in going on. But anyway, I guess I finished it off, eh? So, I wonder what this is. Dang, I bet I'm gonna have to fix that. I bet that goes to that gutter right there, and he said it was already hooked up. So I'll bring over some pipe to repair that. But for now, I've just got a piece of plywood here. To cover that hole up. And 811 should be out here in a couple days to mark. I thought I was going to be slick and get a couple loads dropped off over here, but boy, I botched that, I guess. So anyway, gonna check the truck and make sure it's good to go, and then see if I can get it back home. So as it turns out, I had a couple loads of sand rock right here in this small pile. Now that's not good for growing any grass, and so what it is good for though is filling in old septic tanks. So I chose to take this because I'm going to use this to fill that septic tank in. So let's head on back over there. I had to call a couple favors in to get the truck out today and get a ride back, so I figured I would not ask anybody again. So you just leave this thing in neutral and leave the key unlocked, and that will pull 4 flat. That's what Saturns do, is they pull 4 flat like this. So Saturn marketed to a lot of RV owners for this very reason. It's a tow all day. All right, here we go. I am back out here on this job, and the plan is to get this septic tank dealt with. So I've got the excavator here, I've got the plate compactor, and I dropped a few more loads of dirt over here. So Ronald's on the way to help me, and we're gonna get this tank filled in all the way today. The other thing we have to deal with is this piece of corrugated here, so we'll get that dug out and replaced and patched back. So the first thing I want to do here is dig this out and expose the entire tank. Now 811 has finished marking. I had started dropping off dirt before they finished, and so I had to wait until they finished before I could start digging over here. So that's the plan for today, is get this compacted and filled all in.
What? No, see? I even done this.
For the camera?
On there and I said, hey Anthony, how's it going? Say hello to Anthony.
Yep, we got it on video.
Good deal. Hope you've been doing well. Look forward to your comments later. Still working.
Nice.
Doing it.
All right, let's get some more dirt in here for you.
Appreciate y'all watching.
All right, so we got finished what I wanted to get finished today. We got that septic tank filled in. Now, a couple things about the septic tank. He said there was a septic tank out here, so he did warn me. And there was an old clean out right over here somewhere. And if I had been looking and paying a little bit more attention, I would have there it is. I would have realized if there's a clean out right there in the yard, there's probably something going on. And he has a clean out way out there, so you know he's on sewer. So this possibly could have been avoided, but he was pretty happy to get this filled in, and I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. So now we're going to be playing musical machines. So I've got to get this excavator back home, and I got to get the skid steer over here. So that's what we're working on today, and we'll be back over here tomorrow with the skid steer. So all this work, and we haven't even started the job yet. We are back out here this morning, and we're going to get this job hopefully finished up. So I've got a bunch of piles of dirt here, and we're going to be using the big skid steer to haul these to the backyard and around in here too, to try to feather some of this out. We also brought another load of dirt in the old dump truck way out there at the road. And we got the big skid steer here. So back in the back, you can see all these exposed roots. We're going to try to get these covered up and get this feathered back out and reseeded in Strahd. We also want to get this pretty much up to, get the grade up to that slab right there. So, and then we got some wood chips to get rid of as well from the stump. There was a huge stump right here in this homeowner's backyard, and so you can't grow any grass on these wood chips. So whenever a stump grinder comes and grinds out the stump, they leave the chips like this. And so part of this job is me getting rid of these chips for the homeowner so he can grow some grass back there. This is the back of the fence here where we dump those chips, and the homeowner was fine with, he dumps his leaves and stuff back here all the time. So that made it a lot easier for us. Whenever I have a machine at a customer's house, I always ask them if there's anything else that they would like done while I'm there. And these shrubs were put in by the homeowner years ago, I guess, and they never really took off. And so he asked me if I would pull them out while I was on the job there. And little things like that can really add value to what the customer is getting. And it doesn't take that much longer if you're already there on site. So I did this, and then I flattened out an area where an old tree had been removed that was just kind of uneven in the front yard. So take a look at that. All right, hopefully you can see there was a tree right there. So he wants me to try to flatten that out. So I'm going to try to use the Harley rake and see how we do. we are finished with this job, so let's take a look. This up here didn't need to be done, but that's where we fell in the septic tank right there. So we got all that done. We got some dirt brought in here. There's a low point. We built all this up through here and pulled a couple of shrubs out over here that he didn't want. And all the exposed roots and everything, they're all covered up now. So we're just trying to get this fence back together. It's taken forever. There's about 1 million nails in it. So I've said it before, but always make sure if you put a gate up like this, or I mean a fence up, that you put a huge gate in it. So backyard looks good. The homeowner's really excited about this. We built this up to the level of the patio there, and he's going to replace that concrete, and he may do a pergola, he said, over here. So for now, the yard is pretty much restored the way he likes it. So we brought in a bunch of dirt over here, got rid of all those wood chips, threw them back in the brush over there, and he's real happy about that. So this job is finished. And we're just getting cleaned up, and we got to get the skid steer loaded up still. You guys got it?
Huh?
You got it?
Getting it.
Getting it?
Getting it.
Sweet. Sounds like that screw is stripped out.
Sounds like it needs to be beat in there, don't it?
That turned out to be a much more interesting job than I was expecting. So I was a little bit, and I think I did it to myself because I was worried about the job not being interesting enough with just grading and spreading seed and straw. So with the whole septic tank that I fell into, that definitely added some interesting parts to this job. When I got back to the job after telling the homeowner what had happened, I noted that he didn't seem that worried about it. And when I got back there, he said that like 20 years ago, the little girl that lived next door was outside pushing her stroller in the yard, and he was outside doing something. He heard a massive scream, and she had fallen in their septic tank, and it was also not in use and had been abandoned, but just her walking across the yard, she fell in that thing, so he had to go pull her out of there. So he was more than happy to get that done, especially since there was no damage otherwise to the truck or to me or anything else. And I also have to give a shout out to my mountain biking friend David for dropping everything that he was doing that day and coming to bail me out. So thanks again, David. And I hope you all enjoyed this video.